Thanks, Chairman. Let me welcome the panel here, and let me just, for the record, refer my colleagues to Republican nominees Michael Trunkale, Daniel Traynor, Corey Wilson, and John Bush, whose litany of intemperate remarks caused no concern whatsoever on the Republican side during their nomination proceedings. So I think that selective outrage obviously has its role in the Senate, but I do want to point out that there's something selective about today's outrage, given some of the outrages that Trump nominees brought into this hearing room. My concern actually is something different. It's about juries. I believe we have seen a fairly persistent effort by the Supreme Court to undermine civil juries. Over and over, it's been made harder for plaintiffs to get their cases before civil juries. Civil jury verdicts and damages awards have been undone and undermined. And of course, there's a persistent pattern of sidelining, letting big corporations sideline people entirely away from juries through mandatory arbitration buried deep in long and not fairly negotiated contracts. And the result is that in many federal courthouses around the country, jury trials are extremely scarce. And I think that's unfortunate because I think that, well, I agree with Blackstone in his commentaries, who said that one of the purposes of the jury is that it prevents the encroachments of the wealthy and powerful upon everybody else because of requiring folks coming before the jury to stand equal before the law. A mighty corporation comes to Senate or congressional venues, and they're not very equal with ordinary people. They have armies of lobbyists. They have enormous amounts of money that they spend through PACs and super PACs. And it can be frustrating and annoying to be a big corporation dragged before a jury and having to suffer the indignity of being treated on equal par with individuals. And I think that the founders built the jury into the Constitution, into the Seventh Amendment, with that view in mind. And it was casus belli for the revolution when the crown tried to interfere with that American right. So I worry about the evaporation of jury trials and would like to know what each of you will do in your courtrooms to keep that right alive and vibrant in your courthouses. Start with you, Ms. Calvert, and we'll just go quickly across to the four who are going to be trial judges.
Thank you, Senator Whitehouse, for that question. In my background as a criminal defense attorney, the jury trial is a bedrock principle, and I can assure you that for any litigant who comes before me, I will do everything in my power to make sure that they have a fair jury trial. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. In my 10 years as a magistrate judge, what I do is when a case comes before me, very early in the case, I give them a trial date, and that date sticks. And if the case gets to the point where they're ready for trial, then I've been fortunate we've been able to select jurors, and I do my best to give everybody a fair trial.
Thank you, Senator. I fully concur with your remarks about the importance of the jury trial. If I am confirmed as a judge, I would fully respect the Sixth and Seventh Amendment right to a jury trial. I believe juries are important because they bring the voice of the people to the act of governing. And
About the only way that they really do directly, right?
yes, sir. And they take a cross-section of the community and have them speak on important questions. They also serve an important educational role and give people a sense of ownership and membership in their own government.
Mr. Ho?
Thank you, Senator Whitehouse. I agree with everything that my fellow nominees have said. The right to a trial, a jury of one's peers, as protected by the Sixth and Seventh Amendments, is one of the bedrock protections in the Bill of Rights, and I would do everything I can to make sure that those rights are respected if I were confirmed.
It's incredibly hard to put the fix in with a jury, and when you try, it's actually a crime. And that's something that's worth keeping in mind as we deal with an increasingly special interest-driven Congress. Thank you.